So Drakelings, they're a pretty phenomenal creature, being a Lost Colony Day 1 content pre-order that not only comes in 4 different variants that you can tame, all offering their own unique abilities, but quite possibly the most broken loot system in ARK to date. With a further question what this video is all about, how powerful are they? So, first things first, of course, we need to tame one, and all we need is a torch, that's it. Simply a torch. And in wielding one next to a Drakeling, it will eventually get attracted to you and fly over towards you. This one is out here in the water. God knows why it's out here so far. But it's going to make its way and sit on my shoulder, where we now get a taming progress bar telling us to do a few things. The probably hardest one, depending on if you're prepared or not, is of course kill experience, where you need to kill anything and everything in your wake. And especially on Ragnarok at the moment, there's not as many spawns as there should be, at least unofficial. So this could be a bit of a pain. Especially if Pego robs 100 of the elements. Jeez. But this is all you gotta do. Kill stuff. Job's a good one. And pretty straightforward to get through and be done. Once done, you're going to feed it its preferred kibble, which is exceptional kibble, granting you a good chunk of taming progress. By which point it's going to ask you to do your next task, which could be harvesting or crafting. Either of these, it could end up being as well as kill. It's RNG and what that's going to be. And now this 145 has asked us to get kill XP. Jobs are good then. And if you get the crafting one, you can go for something like cloth hat, seeing that you're harvesting plenty of fiber. Of course, a sickle is an easy way to get harvesting right. Get harvesting plenty of fiber with a sickle. Harvested, you could use that to make as many cloth hats as you need for the crafting experience task. A pretty simple taming process, and for a 150 on 1x, you're going to find 14.1% taming affinity. If for whatever reason you fail a task or you throw it off your shoulder, you're going to see a giant decrease in taming effectiveness. This has already gone down to 90%. So you want to make sure you do not fail this taming process at all, but it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully shouldn't be an issue for you. If for whatever reason you don't have kibble to hand, your next best preferred food is going to be cooked lamb chop, where you're going to find a 7.14 taming affinity on 1x. So you're going to need quite a bit. And then the next best, most common, easy to access food, I guess, if you really can't get your hands on lamb chops, is going to be cooked meat. You can use raw prime meat or raw mutton or cooked prime fish meat, but looking at something that's readily available to you, it's going to be cooked meat as your next best. But on 1x, you're getting 1.76 affinity per feed. So preferably you really want to go for cooked lamb chops or kibble if you've got it. Be mindful, if there's any bodies littered around next to a Drakeling, it is an absolute pain to pull them away from it. So you really do want to be harvesting anything that it's aggro to, and try not to hit the thing, or you're going to aggro it yourself, like I am here, and cause yourself a bit of an issue. And if you're wondering, because I was using an Ascendant torch instead of a primitive torch, doesn't seem to offer any additional benefit. You still got the same process and you're getting the same affinity per feed, so no need for an Ascendant torch. A standard primitive one will do the job to attract it. Courtesy of wickerly.gg, all of these spring variants spawn in these locations here. Summer variants spawn in all of these locations here. Autumn all over in these spots, and winter in all of the snowy locations. Of course they do. All of which have their very own unique abilities. When picking up, you'll find a new weapon slot to drop into your hotbar, and clicking on it in first person mode, you'll see it gently fly onto your hand. Testing these all at around 145 or 150 times, where we're seeing something around 40 points in health and melee. The Spring's breath attack applies a sort of shocking sort of breath that doesn't seem to provide any sort of buff on top of it simply being a breath attack. The Summer Drakeling offers a sort of fire breath attack, even though it doesn't actually produce fire damage over time. It's simply an aesthetic fire looking shot. The Autumn having its own visual look as well, more of a pinky floral looking breath attack, and the Winter having a frost looking attack as well. All, as you may notice, are outputting roughly around the same damage. Each of these attacks will fire off your shoulder if running into any danger, or whistling aggressive, giving you at least a little bit of damage output depending on what you're running into. Like a Rex. Shooting out its breath attack upon cooldown and dealing just a little bit more damage over time, right? And if pumped entirely in melee, as far as you could go, with us putting all 88 levels into this Spring Drakeling, you're going to find quite a considerable increase in damage. This is probably just over double the damage initially of what it was base. Killing the Rex, okay, with the help of a Bronto, which is pretty wild. And if pressing reload when equipped, you'll see a cycle to a new option called Spring if you've got the Spring Drakeling, Summer if you've got the Summer Drakeling, Autumn if you've got the Autumn Drakeling, and you guessed it, Winter if you've got the Winter Drakeling. The Gift of Spring, when applied to a creature, offers 1% or plus 15 health regen over the duration it's affecting, and 10% less stamina consumption during the time too. The Gift of Summer, when applied to a creature, offers a plus 10% movement speed for the duration and 25% off the time of any crowd control effects, such as being bouldered, trapped, or anything like that. The Gift of Autumn from an Autumn Drakeling offers a plus 5% melee damage for the duration, as well as plus 15 harvesting, which is definitely beneficial for things like harvesting element veins with a Mantis on Extinction or Astraios. And the Gift of Winter applies a plus 10% damage resistance during the time, as well as a high amount of insulation, which, by the way, if you're wondering, when equipped and on your shoulder, you'll see the same effect applied to your character for the entire duration it's on your shoulder or equipped. So that means plus 100 insulation, meaning snow exploration is a lot easier as a character. Autumn giving you that 5% melee damage, but of course that plus 15 harvesting, which means like harvesting metal with a metal pick is going to yield a lot more metal than you normally do. Summer allowing you to move just that little bit faster with that 10% speed on top. And obviously wearing the Spring is going to give you that health regen too, meaning you can tank just a bit more damage against anything that you run into and tank it pretty well. Here's us getting bit by a Rex, and watch that health regen in the bottom as we're getting hit by this Rex. It's pretty much cancelling it out. Of course, we've got some armor to protect us pretty well, but it's pretty solid health regen against this Rex. Look at that. Wow. And of course, that extra bit of stamina to get away from anything if you need to, right? Look at that. We just took a dozen bites from that Rex over there and we're still full health. Good grief. And you'll notice if all of these, if wearing in the region that it naturally spawns in, you'll get a native biome boost, offering you an additional 10% experience and plus 10% loot quality. And this is where the fun happens, because what does loot quality mean? If cycling through to its last option called XP and shooting that at a creature, you'll give it that XP. And you gain and store that XP by, well, gaining XP any way you normally would in game, right? So killing high level creatures, you're going to see a big boost there. Maybe if you're harvesting anything, whether it's bushes or trees, any XP you can get. And it does, if you're wondering, includes crafting too, just like the taming process, right? So a big win there. So if we apply that knowledge to something like a grinder, where we start going wild on crafting there, we'll see the XP start building up over time. Throw in maybe a chem bench and start crafting something like spark powder. We're going to see that XP build up even quicker. Throw in maybe, if you've got one unlocked, a tech sleeping pods to get gaining XP in there too. Or of course, if you're anywhere but official PvE, get killing good baby creatures such as Karkas, Gigas or Wyverns. And you'll see you hit a cap, 30,000 XP. Once you hit that, then fire your XP breath at any creature you want to level. You want to pass that XP on to. And in doing so, you'll be granted a Horde key that works exactly like the treasure chests that you know from the Bob's DLC, but these are absolutely monstrous, which you'll notice are all ascendant because we've hit the max cap. To meet the minimum thresholds to get any Dragon Horde key, you need to hit at least 5,000 stored XP, granting you a primitive Dragon Horde key. But even a primitive one, be prepared to be amazed. Because as said, like treasure chests, if you press E on them, you'll track where the Dragon Hordes are, just like a treasure chest. And once getting close enough to the location, this one was weirdly in the bloody snow cave and in the water, you're going to be granted some loot. And as you can see in this loot of this primitive chest, there's a tech railgun, as well as kibble. You get the idea, right? This one here, granting us superior kibble in its basic version. Climbing picks, more kibble, saddles and ammo. But it's the Ascendant Horde keys where it gets a bit interesting. Ascendant chests, on the other hand, the loot is revolting. max saddles, max weapons, max gear, ammo, giant amounts of kibble. Another Ascendant here, granting us more Ascendant gear, more Ascendant saddles, and tech. Max tech, what the hell? This is pretty insane. Again, max Ascendant gear and a better than primitive tech rifle, as well as extraordinary kibble. It's just insane what we're getting out of these chests. This one here taking me to the Ice Palace, which is insane. More max gear. Superior kibble. Top tier gas bag saddles. And it'll offer blueprints on top as well. Max blueprints for some of the best gear. Everything that we're finding here, we're going to get BPs for too. This is phenomenal. You can get an entire tech suit out of these chests, as well as the best weapons and gear in the game. And everything is in these from every map. Every ammo type, every weapon, every gear type, kibble, the list goes on. These are all primitive ones. It's absolutely insane. But of course, like, there is a cooldown with this, bear in mind with that. Every time you pass over the XP and get those Ascendant Dragon Horde keys, you are going to wait for that stored experience to reach all the way up to 100%, which is going to take some time. Roughly going up by 1% every 5 seconds until you can repeat the process again. But of course, anybody who's been mass breeding, and if you're not on official PvE, well, you're onto an absolute winner, getting all of the end game loot you're going to need. Easy mode. So how powerful are these things? Absolute monsters, right? But that's only half the game. We want to see what these things are like in a fight. So you can breed any variant you want, looking to make the best possible ones we can. We can see this one's got 42 melee, and the spring one's got 43 health. So we'll make the autumn and the spring variants together, and we get a bit of a pretty dainty egg, which does incubate out in the wild, so just be mindful of that. And if you're wondering, is used to make simple kibble. Kind of weird, that one, considering it requires exceptional kibble to tame, but, you know. And contrary to popular belief, though, this was a thing definitely at launch. You do get an offspring that can be the same as the male parent, not just the female. But obviously in mating and getting all those stats moving over, here we've got the health and melee on a female now. You still want to be careful you don't lose that season, right? If you want a mixture of maybe spring and autumn, I've got to make sure I've got one female spring and one male autumn, or the other way around. Definitely adding more length onto the breeding process, seeing that there's a 50% chance between autumn and spring. Right, and there's an autumn 229. Brilliant. Okay, so now we've got one of each. And that just happened to us. We actually got the gender swap. We've now got a spring Drakeling with all of the stats as a male, and an autumn Drakeling with all of the stats as a female. But that means now we're going to get the stats that we want, and we'll get either autumn or spring, depending on how RNG decides for us. So, 20 Drakelings, all looking lovely. This one over here got a mutation. Oh, look at that. Looks wonderfully pink. One over there having a little laugh to himself about how pink his friend, his brother or sister is. 5.5k health on these and 800 melee. And what you'll notice about these, they've got a head slot, meaning we could put a helmet on them. And oh, that looks brilliant. There we go. It fits them well. So, and the first test I'm drawn to doing is the Ice Queen. They're off. They're gone. I guess they've seen a worm somewhere. Dead before I could even see it. Here's another one here. Oh my god. Here's another one. Oh, dude. Yeah, they've heard that. There it is. Oh my god. Look at that. Yo. Alright, and we're on. Here we go. Oh, and they are doing some work on that. In seconds, the Ice Queen is looking ropey. Breath attacks from all directions. Saw the different colours going off from all the breath attacks, illuminating the Queen. Pushing her back as well, I'm noticing here. That has taken no time at all. 10 seconds that was, if that. Drakeling's a boss. Right. Well, that's test one. All right, test two. Not convinced this is going to work, but we'll see what happens. Is that it? That's it there. Okay. With them being alpha buffed, which is fascinating there. There we go. doing minimal damage because it's a rock elemental. But I'm not seeing much damage being done to them, actually. I'm not seeing any damage numbers. But this ain't going to be an overnight success. No way. No way, no how. Oh, but they're all getting stuck in. As I said, I'm seeing no damage numbers. I don't know if they're being set on fire. Being very close to the lava down there is a little bit concerning. It might be me, but this lava elemental ain't looking too hot at all. Getting struck in the groin by many Drakelings. Oh my god, they're going to do it. No way. This is a strat. This is totally a strat for doing lava elemental. Oh, without a doubt. Drakelings versus a big giant lava golem. And Drakelings are crowning themselves the winner. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Not going to lie. That was a pretty surprising outcome. And they're all good. The lava elemental never touched them once. The flak helmets are all sweet. Their health, absolutely fine. Oh my god. This is going to get nerfed. There's no way. This is going to get nerfed. This is definitely a strat for lava elemental. PvE, you're okay. You can uncrow in here. PvP on the other hand, you can have a bit of an issue dragging them all through, but you can do it if you want to. Okay, not too convinced if this is going to work. But we need to know for science. And honestly, if it does, it's worthy because it's a boss that, well, for being flyers, will they even teleport in? That's a good question. With answers, we're about to answer now. We're going to do it on Gamma, though, just to test to see if this actually works. With me riding a bison so I can keep moving around and keep ahead of the pack, right? No. Ah, what a shame. But the one on my shoulder did. So, out of curiosity, I guess we've only got one to play with. If you've got more than one, if you've got multiple people in your squad, then you're laughing, I guess. He's off, he's off. There we go. Our singular Drakeling. Go on, son. One Drakeling. One dream. And it's up there. It's getting involved. It's struggling to keep up with him now, admittedly. Like, there it is. It can't even catch up with the wyvern. Nah. And we're just going to keep on the move and keep away from those death worms shooting at it from below. If only that Drakeling can get close to it, I'd love to see it in action. Have we landed now? Oh, we've landed. Okay, here we go then. Right, here comes the Drakeling. Go on, son. I'm just going to stand back. There's no way. There's no way that Drakeling's surviving. Not a chance. Look at the thing there. Go on, son. We believe in you. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to die before the Drakeling does, I think, at this rate. Yeah, never going to happen. Like, there's no time. Not on Gamma. Not enough damage output. I'm amazed that thing is still surviving. What the hell? Honestly, but the fact you can get one in on your shoulder, I want to see, like, a 10-player strong bring in 10 of these, have a crack. And see how they get on then. I want to see 10 players do this with Drakelings. And amazingly, we did it. I can't get over it. The Drakeling survived. We survived. It took way too long, though. Obviously, we're in single player here, and there's no timer. There's no way. You're never doing this. You're never doing this on servers. Legit, it's just not going to happen. You're at this far too long. But it was fun to see. We got a Drakeling done it. Wow, wow, wow. Can't pick it up for some reason. Don't know why. I wonder if... Oh, I can't pick it up anymore. That's a problem. Is it going to be stuck down here? Come on, dude. Can I pick you up? Yeah. Oh, I can. He's back on my shoulder. Thank God for that. Okay, we're good. Our little dude survived. I am amazed. Well done. Well played. Well played. So that didn't go according to plan, but there's still one thing to test out, I guess. How do they get on against the big guns? against the big dinos. Let's see how we get on against the Karka. Off you go. And they're off. Doing some extraordinary damage. Bearing in mind, if it kills one of them... Oh, no! Oh, it's game! Oh, it is game! The Karka can't turn around quick enough to get a chomp in, to get one single bite in. It is curtains for you, son! You're getting done by some tiny-ass dragons. Pathfinding wins for us tonight. No! Look at that. Oh my god. Oh, it's just done. There's nothing it could do. It's just chilling in circles. Oh, it's legging it. Oh god, maybe that'll help it out. It's what the hell is legging it? What? It's kind of working. That the Karka learns. Clever goal. Oh, killing the trike will help it though. But will it be quick enough? I don't think so. Even with that blood rage on. It wasn't! Oh, you dirtbag! Oh my god! Look at this. Amazing. Okay then, well, you know what that means. And we're on. Can we get the same deal with the Giga? Let's see it. In for the rear. It's got that first bite in, but is it going to get it on a rope-a-dope again? It's looking like... Oh, maybe. It's getting one or two bites in. But it's looking good. Oh, it is looking good. No. It's curtains for you, son. The Drakeling. And Karka and Giga Killer. And this is running again. Okay, maybe it's got a chance. Maybe it'll get a bite in. Oh, I need to be careful here. I don't get bit. That is insane. Oh, and here it is. But it's back on the rotation. Oh, there's no hope. There it is. Drakeling is OP. How powerful is it? Yes. Lucky for buses, it can't teleport into one unless it's on your shoulder. So there we go. I hope this has been very informative and enjoyable for you. It certainly was for me. Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.